Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. Today I'm going to recap Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Avalanche and the Lightning. Then I'll recap yesterday's baseball, Wnba, Men's College World Series games, look ahead to everything today. We'll look at the early leaderboard for the Travelers Championship. My final NBA mock draft. I know, amazing, right? News and notes and best bet. We'll start with the Stanley Cup Final. Last night was Game 4, and it was a great game as the Avalanche came out on top 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Nazem Kadri as the Avs take a 3-1 series lead. But the Lightning scored 36 seconds into the game on a goal by Anthony Cirelli as the Bolts take a 1-0 lead. And assisting on that goal was Eric Cernak. Second period, 5:17 in. Nathan MacKinnon, his 12th of the postseason on the power play, assisted by Mikko Rantanen and Cale Makar, 1-1. Then 5 minutes later, Victor Hedman, his third of the postseason from John Rutta to take a 2-1 lead. Then third period, 2:53 in, Andrew Cogliano, his third of the postseason from Nico Strum and Darren Helm to even up the game to 2 apiece. Then overtime, 12 minutes in, Nazem Kadri with the game winner, assisted by Artturi Lehkonen and Darcy Kemper as the Avs come away with the 3-2 win. The number 3 started game with the goal, Anthony Cirelli. Number 2 started game with the goal, Victor Hedman. Number 1 started game with the overtime goal, Nazem Kadri. So, 2 Lightning players get stars of the game. I mean, the Lightning really outplayed the Avalanche in this game, but the Avs really pressed hard in the third, and then they ultimately won the game. So, the Avs have a chance to close it out on Friday night at home, which should be very interesting. Alrighty, now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Astros over the Mets, 5-3. The Astros are 43-25. Mets 45-26. Blue Jays over the White Sox, 9-5. Blue Jays 39-30. White Sox 33-34. Rangers over the Phillies, 4-2. Best bet was a loser. Texas 33-35. Philly 36-34. Padres over the D-backs, 10-4. I almost picked this for best bet. Comes back to bite me. San Diego 44-27. Arizona 32-39. Marlins over the Rockies, 7-4. Marlins 31-36. Colorado 30-39. Dodgers over the Reds, 8-4. The Dodgers 42-25. Cincinnati 23-45. Literally every game went over except for the big game I pick. Cubs over the Pirates, 14-5. The Cubs 26-43. Pittsburgh 28-40. Orioles over the Nationals, 7-0 in 6. As it was a rain-shortened game. Orioles 31-39, Washington 25-47. Red Sox over the Tigers 6-2, Red Sox 39-31, Detroit 26-43. Yankees come back and beat the Rays 5-4, Yanks 51-18, Tampa Bay 37-32. Braves over the Giants 4-3, Braves 40-30, San Francisco 38-30. Guardians over the Twins 11-10, Guardians now in first place in the AL Central, 36-28 on the year. Minnesota 38-32. Cardinals over the Brewers 5-4. Cardinals 40-31. Now they're in first place in the NL Central. Milwaukee's 39-32. Mariners over the A's 9-0. Mariners 31-39. A's 23-47. And the Angels over the Royals 5-0. The Angels 34-38. In Kansas City 25-43. Now we look ahead to today's games at 12 o'clock. We have the Rockies and the Marlins. Kyle Freeland and Braxton Garrett. Should be an interesting game. The Marlins are minus 148. The Rockies are plus 126. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 176. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 146. I'm going to go with the over. I think that there's value on the over. 12:20 Giants Braves. Alex Wood and Kyle Wright. Braves minus 154. Giants plus 130. Over under 9. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 152. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 126. I'm going with the Giants. 47.9% chance to win according to ESPN Analytics. And they're plus 130. 12:30 Cubs Pirates. Justin Steele and Jose Quintana. Pirates minus 102. Cubs minus 116. Over under 8.5. Minus 110 each way. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 140. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 170. I'm going with the Pirates. They're 51.7% chance to win according to ESPN Analytics. And they're an underdog. Dodgers Reds. Clayton Kershaw and Hunter Green. Dodgers minus 220, Reds plus 184, over under 9, overs even money, unders minus 122, Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 134, Reds plus 1.5 is minus or plus 112. For this game, I'm going to go under 4.5 first half, total runs at minus 105, a day game, getaway game. I could see both pitchers pitching well. Guardians Twins. Zach Plesac and Devin Smeltzer. Twins minus 134. Guardians plus 116. Over under 10. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 164. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 136. I like the under. I think 10's too high. 2 o'clock Cardinals Brewers. Dakota Hudson and Jason Alexander. Cardinals minus 102, Brewers minus 116, over under 9.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Cardinals plus 1.5 is minus 210, Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 172. I'm going with the Cardinals. They're an underdog, and they're 54.7% chance to win according to ESPN Analytics. 3:30 Mariners A's. Robbie Ray and Frankie Montas. Mariners minus 130, A's plus 110, over under 7, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 134. A's plus 1.5 is minus 162. I'm going with Oakland. They're favored on ESPN Analytics as well. 7 o'clock, you have the Astros and the Yankees. Framber Valdez and Jameson Taillon. Great pitching matchup. Yanks minus 130, Astros plus 110, over under 8. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 184. Yanks minus 1.5 is plus 150. Prove it series for the Yankees. And this is a big series for Houston, too. But I think this is an under game because of how well these pitchers have pitched this year. I just think J-Mo's been a little bit better. 8 o'clock, Orioles, White Sox. Dean Krummer and Johnny Cueto. White Sox minus 156, Orioles plus 132, over under 9, overs minus 114, unders minus 108. Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 150. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 125. I'm going with the White Sox run line. Minus 1.5 is plus 125. They're over 70% chance to win. And last but not least, 9:30, the Phillies and the Padres. Ranger Suarez and Joe Musgrove. Padres minus 156. Phillies plus 132. Over under 7. Overs minus 124. Unders plus 102. Phillies plus 1.5 is minus 166. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 138. For this game, I'm going to go with the first half run line for the Padres, minus 0.5 at minus 112. But I do not feel good about it. All right, now move on to the WNBA. We'll recap yesterday's game and look ahead to today's games. The Liberty over the Sun, 81-77, a big win for New York. They're near a double-digit underdog. 13 threes. They're 7-10 on the year. They're starting to play better. Connecticut's 12-6. Stephanie Dolson, 16 points for New York. Courtney Williams had 16 for Connecticut. All right. 4 games tonight in the WNBA. That's a lot. 8 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, you have the Fever and the Wings. The Fever are 5-13. The Wings are 8-9. I'm just going to pull up the lines on FanDuel. The The Wings are 8.5. My favorite total is 169.5. I'm going to go with the under in this game. 8 o'clock on Facebook, Commissioner's Cup game between the Mercury and the Lynx. The Mercury is 6-11. The Lynx are 4-13. The Mercury are favored by 1.5 on the road. Total is 165.5. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with the Lynx money line, -108. I just think the Lynx are going to win the game at home. Better off taking a -108 to win rather than +1.5 at -122. 10 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. You have the Mystics and the Storm. Mystics 11-8. Storm 10-6. This is the best game on the slate tonight. The Storm are favored by 3.5. Total is 152.5. This is a tough one. I'm going to go with the over. And last but not least, 10:30 on Facebook, you have the Sky and the Sparks. The Sky are 11-5, and the Sparks are 6-9. The Sky are favored by 5.5. Total is 174 or 170.5. I'm going to go with the Sparks as a home underdog, plus 5.5. Been a few days since they fired Derek Fisher. I could see them going on a bit of a run here, so I'm going to take the Sparks plus the 5.5, and plus 176 on the money line is interesting as well. All right, now I'm going to move on to the Men's College World Series. I'm going to recap the games and look ahead to today. Oklahoma over 5 seed Texas A&M 5-1 as Oklahoma advances to the championship series. And Arkansas over Ole Miss 3-2. And these two teams will meet up yet again today, 4 o'clock on ESPN2. It's an elimination game between Arkansas and Ole Miss. Ole Miss won 13-5 on Monday. And Arkansas wins 3-2 yesterday. And Arkansas is -122. Ole Miss is even money. Over under 9.5. Over is -114. Under is -105. Ole Miss -1.5 is +144. Arkansas +1.5 is -178. The total went down after they saw this was a big under from yesterday. So in this game, I'm going to go with Ole Miss at even money to win, to face off against Oklahoma in the Men's College World Series final. So I'm going to go with Ole Miss even money in this spot. All right, now I'm going to go over the current leaderboard at the Travelers Championship. You have a tie for first right now with 3 under. Heath Figlia, Cam Davis, Sodi Kadiara, and Cesar V at 3 under. Tie for 5th with 2 under is a pretty big group. Stefan Yeager, Christian Ziedenhout, Davies Riley, Jonas Blixt, Charles Howard III, Kelly Kraft, Nate Lashley, Lucas Glover, Ryan Ramore, Xander Schauffele, Lucas Griffin, Rory McIlroy, Matthew Neesmith, and Tommy Fleetwood. Tied for 19th at 1 under. Sam Peterson, Siwoo Kim, Luke List, Webb Simpson, Martin Laird, Chad Ramey, Morgan Hoffman, James Hahn, Rory Sabatini, Emiliano Grillo, Paul Barjon, Bo Hogg, and Michael Thorbjornsson. Tied for 32nd at even. Henrik Norlander, Danny Lee, Sam Ryder, Doug Gim, Stuart Singh, Tony Finau, Taylor Hogue, CT Pod, Andrew Landry, Danny Willett, Kevin Kisner, Joachim Herman, Jason Kokrak, William McGirt, Cam Triangle, John Hull, Brian Stewart, Andrew Novak, Anirban Lahiri, Patrick Flavin, Conrad Schindler, Bayo Hostler, Dobby Vanderwalt, and Austin Smotherman. 56th place with 1 over, Brian Harmon, Chasen Hadley, Brent Snecker, Charlie Hoffman, Bryce Garnett, Grayson Sig, and Dylan Wu. Now I'm just going to go through nobles. Tied for 68th with 2 over, Mark Hubbard, Jason Day, Brendan Todd, Matt Trainer, Richie Wierenski, Harold Varn III, and Trey Molinax. Tied for 76 with 3 over, Roger Sloan, Max McGreevy, and Mito Pereira. And then the rest of the bunch will tee off noon or later. All right, now I'm going to unveil the final edition of my 2022 NBA mock draft. So without further ado, here we go. Number 1, the Orlando Magic, Jabari Smith, power forward, Auburn. The Magic can have their pick of 1 to 3 of Smith, Chet Holmgren, and Paolo Banchero. Smith, you can make the case as the safest of the top 3 because of his fine all-around play in college, despite the poor guard play around him. Number 2, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren, power forward, center, Gonzaga. The Thunder have to be doing backflips as this scenario presents itself on draft night, which is tonight. Holmgren is the perfect type of player for this young Thunder nucleus with his ability to create his own shot as a stretch 5 and protect the rim. Number 3, the Houston Rockets, Paolo Banchero, power forward, Duke. The Rockets land a player here with a ton of skill and upside here in Banchero. With Christian Wood out of the picture now, Banchero has a better opportunity to put up some numbers and form a nice foundation with Jalen Green. Number 4, the Sacramento Kings, Jaden Ivey, point guard, shooting guard, Purdue. This would be an odd fit considering the Kings already have De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell, unless the team opts to move 1 of the 2 point guards or this pick, which the latter isn't inconceivable. Ivey is a super explosive player, but he lacks the distribution skills of the elite point guards in the game. Number 5, the Detroit Pistons, Keegan Murray, power forward, Purdue. The Pistons dropping to the 5th spot is not ideal, but it may not be a complete disaster as they have a few viable options. Murray is a nice fit here as he can be a fun pick-and-pop partner for Cade Cunningham with his shooting ability. 6, the Indiana Pacers, Benedict Mathurin, shooting guard, small forward, Arizona. A hot rumor as we approach the draft today is that Mathurin and the Pacers could be a match. Mathurin really broke out in a big way last season as your classic 3-and-D wing that a lot of teams would covet. 7, the Portland Trailblazers, Shaedon Sharpe, shooting guard, Kentucky. Sharpe landing here at the Blazers is very ideal for the team from a fit standpoint. Despite not playing in the second college semester, he's a sharp three-point shooter and arguably the best athlete in the draft. 8, the New Orleans Pelicans, Dyson Daniels, point guard, shooting guard, G League Ignite. This would be a reach for the Pelicans, but more people are higher on Daniels than yours truly. Daniels is a very good defender and really showed improvement offensively throughout the G League season. 9, the San Antonio Spurs, Jeremy Schoen, small forward, power forward, Baylor. The Spurs can go in a very different number of directions here with their first pick. Schoen's skill set is very solid and he would fit nicely with the Spurs' young core. 10, the Washington Wizards, AJ Griffin, small forward, Duke. Johnny Davis was the choice here for a ton of mocks, but there's momentum towards Griffin being the pick. Griffin had a fine season for the Blue Devils, and he can come in and provide some good shooting and athleticism. 11, the New York Knicks, Johnny Davis, shooting guard, Wisconsin. Davis falling here would be ideal for the Knicks, who could use a scoring guard that could create his own shot. Davis is a selfless player and is a good pick-and-roll player and gets to the line often. 12, the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Los Angeles Clippers. Jalen Duren, center, Memphis. The best center in this draft falling this far would be somewhat crazy. Duren has double-double potential, and he and Chet Holmgren would be super fun front court to go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey. 13, the Charlotte Hornets. Ousmane Dieng, small forward, France. This pick would be a reach for the Hornets, who really should be taking players that can help them right now, rather than someone who's a project. Dieng was inconsistent in the NBL, but has tremendous upside with his shot making and ball handling. 14, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ochai Agbaji, shooting guard, Kansas. This would be an interesting selection for the Cavs, who could use some depth on the wing. Agbaji really put himself in a good position to return to school and winning the most outstanding player in the tournament to help his cause. 15, the Charlotte Hornets from the New Orleans Pelicans. Mark Williams, center, Duke. The third player from Duke in this mock I have going to Charlotte. The Hornets badly need a center, and Williams is someone who had a great tournament in which his stock rose, but he doesn't have high upside. 16, the Atlanta Hawks. Jalen Williams, shooting guard, small forward, Santa Clara. The Hawks are a wild card come tonight because the pick is totally in play for a trade. Williams has been a big-time riser in terms of draft prospects and showed tremendous potential as a 3-and-D wing. 17, the Houston Rockets from the Brooklyn Nets. Tari Eason, power forward, LSU. With their second first-rounder, I have the Rockets going with a solid player in Eason. He had a breakout season for the Tigers and is an excellent defender, but has some offensive flaws. 18, the Chicago Bulls. Malachi Branham, shooting guard, small forward, Ohio State. I personally think the Bulls are an unknown in terms of the draft, but here I have them getting some depth on the wing. Branham can shoot it well from three and gets into the paint often. 19, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Blake Wesley, shooting guard, Notre Dame. This would be an interesting pick for the Timberwolves, who have an abundance of guards. Wesley is a raw player that really didn't impress much in college, but is unafraid to score. 20, the San Antonio Spurs from the Toronto Raptors. Dalen Terry, point guard, shooting guard, Arizona. Terry is a fast-rising prospect with the draft approaching today. Terry is someone that has great character on and off the court and is the perfect type of Spurs-y player. 21, the Denver Nuggets. Marjon Beecham, shooting guard, G League Ignite. The second player from the loaded G League Ignite team I have going here in Beecham. He's a really good scorer, would be a great 3-and-D player for the Nuggets to develop. 22, the Memphis Grizzlies from the Utah Jazz. Jaden Hardy, shooting guard, G League Ignite. The Nuggets are a team that's looking to add depth and what could potentially be a title contender. Hardy is a player that didn't live up to hype with Unite, but has a ton of potential that he can unlock. 23, the Philadelphia 76ers. Wendell Moore Jr., shooting guard, small forward, Duke. The Nets chose the furthest pick 2023, which says a ton about how they may feel about the Sixers next season. So there's some pressure to nail the pick here. I like the idea of Moore here due to his floor spacing and ability to shoot threes. 24, the Milwaukee Bucks. E.J. Little, power forward, Ohio State. The Bucks are just searching for players that can help them while they have Giannis Antetokounmpo at the peak of his powers. Little would be a nice fit here, and they could eventually go into the Bobby Portis spot with his stability. 25, the San Antonio Spurs from the Boston Celtics. Nikola Jovic, power forward, Serbia. The Spurs going with Jovic here would be very interesting. He is the safest bet of the international players in this draft, and he's your classic point forward type of player that does a little bit of everything. 26, the Houston Rockets from the Dallas Mavericks. Ty Washington, point guard, shooting guard, Kentucky. Washington falling all the way here would be a major steal for the Rockets. The fit here would be interesting to go with Jalen Green in the backcourt, and he can play with or without the ball. 27, the Miami Heat. Kennedy Chandler, point guard, Tennessee. The Heat are excellent at developing young players into their system. The Heat might be looking at options at point guard with Kyle Lowry getting older, so Chandler here makes sense with his shot creating and good handle. 28, the Golden State Warriors. Jake LaRavia, power forward, Wake Forest. The Warriors are just looking for depth pieces at this point, or they may trade out of the pick altogether. LaRavia has good aspects of the game and could shoot it well from three, which bodes well for today's NBA. 29, the Memphis Grizzlies. Kendall Brown, small forward, Baylor. Brown falling to the end of the first round could be a steal for the Grizzlies. Brown can come off the bench and provide solid play and has the athleticism to succeed. And 30, the Denver Nuggets from the Oklahoma City Thunder via the Phoenix Suns. Juan Montero, shooting guard, overtime elite. The Nuggets, with their second first rounder, take a mystery player here in Montero. He's a solid pick and roll player, but his defense needs some work. So there you have it, my final edition of the mock draft, and that's 10 mock drafts I did in the NBA. All right, news and notes time. There's some stuff I have to bring to you guys. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury set August 6th at Madison Square Garden. So that is really cool news. And that is a Sunday, August 6th, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's a Saturday night. All 2022 first-round picks are now under contract after Kenny Pickett agrees to his rookie deal with the Steelers, so that's pretty cool. So the Panthers do not bring back Andrew Burnett and hire Paul Maurice to replace him. I don't like this move. I thought Burnett did a great job with the Panthers after taking over for Joe Quenneville. I thought Burnett should have been the Jack Adams Award winner, getting that team to the President's Trophy. I guess they don't like that they lost in the second round, so that's what cost him his job here. But this just shows to you how demanding these teams are from an expectation standpoint. This is actually kind of funny. Nazem Kadri chirps the Tampa Bay Ice as he said in the intermission to Emily Kaplan that the ice in Tampa, the surface was garbage. And then he goes on to score the overtime winner. John Cooper leaves mid-presser as he was getting emotional after the loss and hinted that the Avs OT goal shouldn't have counted because of too many men. I mean, John Cooper's just going for that 3-peat. And Anthony Cirelli left in the game in the second period as he was cut by a skate blade. So the WNBA All-Stars were named, and Brittany Griner will be an honorary All-Star starter as her detention in Russia continues, which was very nice of the league. And then, so the list of starters: Sue Bird, Sylvia Foles, Candace Parker, Nneka Agumike, Brianna Stewart, Aja Wilson, Jonquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. That is a really good starting group for the WNBA. Sad news. Yesterday, Tony Saragusa passes away at the age of 55, former Raven and Colt, former broadcaster on Fox. Very sad. From New Jersey. Thoughts and prayers go out to Goose and his family and his former teammates. I was just sad to hear that news yesterday. He was a fabulous broadcaster and a really good player, too. Especially on that Super Bowl Ravens team back in 2000, that season. So a really sad day yesterday in the NFL. And Dan Snyder will have to testify before Congress after skipping yesterday's hearing on workplace culture allegations. Yikes. The Miles Turner market is hot. Minnesota, Toronto, Charlotte, Knicks are teams to look out for. I think Charlotte and Toronto make the most sense for Miles Turner. Let's see if he's traded tonight. Knicks guard Alec Burke has foot surgery, expected to be healthy for training camp. Whoa. I did not know that this trade happened yesterday. Jeremy Grant got traded to the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for a 2025 first-round pick via the Bucks. And then they swapped second-round picks tonight with the Blazers. Holy crap, I did not see that yesterday. Well then, I like that trade for Portland as they try to keep Damian Lillard happy. They need forwards. Again, that Milwaukee pick, we don't know what Milwaukee's going to be 3 years from now. I know Giannis is still going to be Giannis, but you never know with these picks. I know, I'll never forget it, that Brooklyn with the Celtics, the KG Pierce, nobody would have thought that those pick swaps would have been lottery picks. And then, well, one of them was a lottery pick, the other was a lottery pick too, but it wasn't a pick swap. They ended up with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum because of it. So you never know with these pick swaps and whatnot and first round picks. Lakers are threat to land Kyrie Irving, as Irving would make $30 million less with the Lakers than what he could if he decides to stay with Brooklyn. KD has not been reaching out to free agents due to Kyrie's situation, so he must expect Kyrie to stay. The Pistons to pursue DeAndre Ayton when free agency begins next Thursday. So a week from today, June 30th, is free agency. So I guess we'll do the off-season predictions maybe on tomorrow's show. And the Suns are actively finding a sign-and-trade partner for Ayton. The Blazers are targeting OG Anunoby and could offer the 7th pick in the draft to the Raptors. Oh my goodness. Imagine the Raptors coming away with Jeremy Grant and OG Anunoby. That'd be wild. The Hawks and the Spurs were apparently talking about a blockbuster trade between DeJounte Murray and John Collins, which would be wild. And the Spurs want a haul for DeJounte. They said they want a Drew Holiday-like package, which is reasonable for them. And DeJounte took it to Twitter after the Jake Fisher report came out. He goes, uh-oh, with a popcorn emoji. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. There's some good ones, and I just don't know where exactly I want to go with best bet. And the choice I'm going to make, the Yankee over-under went down to 8.5 between their game with the Astros, which is interesting. But I'm going to go under 10 between the Guardians and the Twins. I just think that's high. So I'm going to lay half unit, on the under 10, minus 112 between the Guardians and the Twins for the podcast best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking ahead to everything for the weekend. I think I'm going to do a draft review podcast and then do off-season predictions at the end of it. So I might do 2 shows tomorrow. We'll see about that. So I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, everyone.